much, MC. We are here as the Peace Ambassadors Community Organization, and standing here, I am the chairperson of this organization. The main reason as per to why we formed this organization is to make sure that there is peace and there is unity and love that will prevail within and out of Embakasi. This initiative is driven even across the country. We are praying that each and every youth outside there will always preach peace during this time of political errands. Since we have been stricken with COVID-19, we would like to rebuild our economy through building peace during this political time. Let's not be used, youths, please. Let's avoid being used by handouts. Let's work on peace, love, and unity so that our economy is going to be rebuilt after we've been stricken by COVID-19.
Mimi naitwa Alex Okeyo Otieno. I'm the deputy chair of this organization. Nawakaribisha nyote. Nawaomba tu kitu moja. Amani idumu miongoni mwetu. Because without peace, hatuwezi fanya kitu yote. The economy can collapse. Si ndio? Si mnaona Somalia venye iko? Hatutaki hiyo kitu hapa Kenya. Tafadhali, si ndio? Mbarikiwe nyote.
Thank you so much.
Hamjambo Embakasi.
Hatujambo brother.
Hamjambo tena.
Hatujambo.
I am Jasper Oyo. I play the role of treasury for the Peace Ambassadors CBO. Okay, I'll speak briefly as we proceed with our program. I must say that this organization is upcoming. So far, so good. We have established ourselves. Our major focus, our major objective is to spread peace, love, and unity.
Yes.
It is not just the basic aspects of peace, love, and unity, but you must act on it. We act on it how? My brother Lamek, my brother Alan, Mopao feel most welcomed. We are in a political period. But peace, love, and unity goes past even our electioneering period. It goes to us, the public, whichever places that we reside. Our peaceful coexistence elevates the aspects of education, security, health, and every other that may come through for our lives. So it's our concern, and it's our objective again, that we have brought you here together so that we can drive this as a team, so that we can at least ensure that the country, not just Embakasi ward, is guaranteed a peaceful coexistence. We are calling unto you leaders, we are calling unto you the clergy. We thank you, Bishop, for coming through. We thank you, the public, for coming here. Let's work together to achieve this objective. Empower us and let us also empower you. Thank you so much for that. Feel most welcome.
Okay, my name is Dennis Ochieng. I'm the event coordinator. So the main purpose we came up with this idea, it was about peace. We want an Embakasi whereby you can move without restriction. We want an Embakasi whereby Honorable Alan can come to Mradi without chaos. Honorable Lame can move to Tasha without chaos. We want an Embakasi where that we coexist in a peaceful environment with love, sisterhood, and brotherhood. I know when we convene here, we can move together as a team and elevate the livelihood of Embakasi residents, because that's the main agenda. Let's preach peace, love, and unity. We are together in this, and I know we can do it. Thank you.
I'm Daniel Moranga, the organizing secretary of Peace Ambassadors CPO. As you can see, it's a young group which emerged recently, but its actions can prevail that we can move far. With your support, engagement, advice, and with your mobilization in the spread of the gospel of peace, we can actually go far. We love our country. We don't have any other country. We don't have any other place to go. But if we maintain peace, love, and unity amongst ourselves, then we can be really proud of our country outside here. I want to appeal to everybody on board that we welcome you to support us, especially in terms of advice, in terms of resources, such that we may prove this event and even drive it countrywide. Since you are upcoming, we also spread this gospel to the entire country. I really appreciate for everybody and feel welcome.
My name is Eric Omondi. I'm a member of the Peace Ambassador Community Organization. This is a group that was founded last year by a group of about 10 youths.
we were seeking to change the society and how things have been in the past. We know how our elections have been in the past, and we were seeking, to bring people together, preach peace, such that every aspirant is free to campaign, or every member of this ward is free to support whoever he feels like, without fear, without intimidation. And I'm happy that when we came up with this idea, we received a good reception from the public, and some offered to support us. Pastor Ndenda gave us his blessing to continue with this noble initiative. And as even when we were publicizing, the electorate were very positive, and as you can see, we have a number of people who are willing to be part and parcel of this initiative. Moving forward, we want to have electioneering periods which are not punctuated by violence. Violence, we know the consequences of violence. Businesses cannot thrive in an environment that is not peaceful.
My name is Eugene Nyasudi. I want to take this opportunity to first of all thank our able aspirants for taking heed to our invites and making it to this particular session. Secondly, I want to say that peace is always sweeter. So before you think of violence, let's think of the vulnerables. Let's think of our children. Let's think of our wives. Let's think of those people that cannot always be in that particular battlefield to fight. Yeah, so to our able aspirants, I'll also request you that as the session will be going on, kindly take charge, control your crowds, because we are not going to entertain people here. We are here for peace. And whoever is going to work against that, we are going to take a serious action against you. Yeah, so you are going to come here out of this place, either built or destroyed. Yeah, so kindly, while addressing your people, your residents, kindly let's stick to the rules and regulation guiding this organization. Thank you.
Peace ambassadors, we stand for peace. We are not any under umbrella. Today, we are going to get a chance to listen to our politicians, the MCAs. Our seat is open. Hakuna vita. That is what we want to preach. Wamama, tusipigane. Vijana, tupendane. Watoto wetu wanatuhitaji hapo mbele. The initiative Peace Ambassadors is still very young. We encourage the young people on board. Kujeni, let us shikana mkono. Let us hold such forums. Ndio mtu akikuja kutafuta uongozi, ajue kuna protocol. Asifikirie kuna shimo. Akuje atuongeleshe, tumsikize vile tunasikiza saizi. Asanti kwa wote wenye wamekuja, kuna maji na kuna drinks mtapatiwa. I want to officially, I've been on ground all through. I want to welcome someone who has stood with us up to the onset of this. He is the chairman of NERA. His name is Teddy Obiero. Tumpatie makofi tafadhali.
Mimi nafuraha sana wakati wali reach out wakasema kuna jambo ya peace, let's preach peace. Wakauliza ni kiwanja gani tunaweza tumia. Sisi kama Nyayo tukasema that's a very noble idea. Nika reach out kwa wenzetu. Niko na ndugu yangu anaitwa Abraham Kipto. Ana represent owners wa Nyayo Estate. Tukasema hii kiwanja kama community kama Nyayo na tuko na majirani wetu tulikuwa tushapatia vijana wanaweza chezea mpira. Tunaweza fair hiyo kwa hapo kwa mpira pia tunaweza sema tunaweza omba hapo na tuseme peace Embakasi prevail. Last year November I applied for a polling station, an extra polling station with the IBC. They promised January watatupatia polling station. Wakatuahidi Januari tutapatia polling station na tumeongezwa polling station kadhaa hapa Embakasi ward. Hii kiwanja palipumko sasa hivi is a polling station. Kwa hivyo kitu ya kwanza naweza taka sana mfanye vijana, wamama, wazee, Tafadhalini chukueni kura. Wale ambayo unakuaga mali kama aviation, watu ni wengi sana, unaweza transfer kura yako kwa hii polling station. Haitakuwa na watu wengi sana. Kwa hivyo kila mtu amekaribishwa. Wakati unaenda kuregister, isema unahitaji ya Nyayo Estate Gate A kama polling station yako. One of the things that we will do after this event, we'll have an MCA candidates debate at some point. Tutataka kuwasikiza azimio yenu ni gani kuhusu Embakasi ward. Na mtakaribishwa. Eventually tutawork na the peace ambassadors, tutakuja tusikiza azimio yenu baada ya party primaries, wakati mtakuwa sasa mnajua wewe uko kwa debe ama wewe uko kwa debe. Wamama, wasichana, vijana, vipaji ziko hapa. Nimeona an artist called MJ. His lyrics and the rap is amazing. All I'm saying is the aspirants, you've seen talent here, these young people. As you go forward, hata kama at the end of the day, hii ni race, hii ni kama Arsenal na Manchester. Kuna mmoja atachukua kikombe, mwingine atabaki. Hata kama umebaki, fanya kazi na mwenzako, tuinue jamii. Sisi kama community Nyayo tunajaribu sana kuinua jamii. Saa zingine unaifanya seti kwa sababu unahitaji kiti ya siasa ama kitu kama hiyo. Tumepanda miti, tunafanya environment recycling of bottles. Hizo machupa ambazo mko nazo zote, tafadhali mtaziacha kwa hii kiwanja, zitachukuliwa, zitapelekwa for recycling. Hiyo ndio initiative nataka wale ambao mnachukua hii kiti. There is environment, there is youth, there is women, and of course also the elderly in this community. Most importantly, the children. Hakuna shule Embakasi East. Shule ni moja, ingine iko pale kwa jeshi inaitwa Garrison, lakini the most important school na which is the only one ni Embakasi Primary. Community ya Nyayo tulijaribu tukawapatia mabati, juzi tumepanda miti huko, na tunaomba sana shule ingine ikuje kwa sababu hiyo shule imejaa. Sawa, sasa hiyo ikuwe, those are the agendas. Nataka sana nyinyi wakati mnakimbilia hii kiti muangalie zile changamoto tuko nazo. Kitu kingine kubwa sana Embakasi ambayo tuko nayo ni drainage and sanitation. Maji, hii mtaro hapa, kuna barabara hapa nyuma. Hiyo mtaro hiyo imejaa sewage. Kukinyesha wale vijana wanaosha magari pale, wengi wao marafiki zangu, wanateseka sana. Hii mvua ya juzi kazi hizi fanyika. And that is it's a health hazard basically. You look at it, it's not fair. We can change that. Tafadhali, as you come in, environment, youth, women, children. Very, very important as you work towards employment. Employment, vijana wengi wamesoma hapa. Nimeinteract na wengi sana from the social hall, village na kila mahali. They need real opportunities. Kuna wale ambao unaweza anza kitu ambayo hata kama ni kahab, walete pamoja, uweke pamoja. Vijana wa peace ambassadors, ukiwaona vile wamenawiri hapa, ni vijana ambao wameenda shule. So give them something, open opportunities. Ziko ni wewe utaenda unegotiate. Embakasi ward hapa kuna makampuni mengi sana. Nani ataenda kuongea nao HR waseme haya, mimi niko na list ya vijana wa 10, qualifications zao ni hizi, naomba sana wakati opportunity itaonekana wapatie kitu fulani. Sisi kama Nyayo, we've been doing that in Nyayo Estate. Safaricom, Zuku, kila mtu mmoja wao wanachukua watoto. Kuna kijana wetu mmoja ameandikwa permanent na Safaricom. It's something possible. Na sisi I'm just a chairman for a small community. So Sembuse wewe utakuwa MCA. You have all the powers. So tafadhali itumie vizuri, you can get there. Give them real opportunities. It is possible. Mimi nitafanya kazi na ule mbaya atashinda. I'm ready. We work together. Hii kiwanja we are lobbying for a very important thing. Mtaiona ikiivana vile IBC imeivana, ingine pia itaivana. Mimi niko na imani. We'll probably do an astroturf here. Vumbi ishe, we coordinate it better. Ikuwe na mahali imepangiliwa vizuri. Hakuna mtu apendi maisha nzuri. Kila mtu anataka maisha soft. Nasema soft life warembo. Soft life. Yes. Tutembee mpaka railway station pale bila kanyaga matope, mataa ziko. You know, good stuff. Tupende vitu nzuri na tutafute vitu nzuri. So as you elect your leaders, chagua mtu ambaye anapeleka azimio yako mbele. Uko na mtoto mdogo, ataenda shule wapi? Uliza hizo maswali, maji ya kunywa atatoa wapi? Sewage itaenda wapi? Takataka itachukuliwa vipi? Huyu mtoto akimaliza shule class 8, anaenda wapi form 4? Anaenda wapi college? Those are the questions to ask these people as they are coming with their manifestos. Tafadhali, ask the difficult questions wawajibu. Asanteni sana.
My name is Bishop Hudson Deda. I'm a pastor here in Tasia. And by the grace of God, I'm also the national chairman of the Church and Clergy Association of Kenya. And therefore, the church supports peace. And that is why I am agreeing with this youth on this initiative. My work was very simple when they approached me. It was very simple. They shared with me their vision and what they want to do. And when I listened to it, I said that is what the church stands for. We stand for peace, and we want peace everywhere. And therefore, my work was very simple. I told them, I will introduce you to relevant offices within the government where you get your approval of what to do. And I told them I will go ahead of you. Before you are there, I will have made a call there. And therefore, all the authorities within Embakasi and Nairobi recognizes peace ambassadors. And that is why we are here. So I want you to know that this team, they are recognized fully by the government to promote peace, not only within Embakasi East, but beyond. On Thursday, I was with the OCPD and we shared about this. I had even actually invited him to be in this meeting, but he told me he will not come. But he told me, just take this message to the youth. That, walisema tuseme Kiswahili, kuna mama hawaelewi, ya kwamba vijana wajue wakati wewe unatumiwa kufanya vurugu, wewe unayetumiwa ndio utashikwa, sio ile aliyekutuma. Wewe ndio utashikwa. And two, your fingerprints zitachukuliwa as a criminal. And aliyekutuma hata kwa hapo fingerprints zake hazitachukuliwa. Yes, you will be bailed out, utatolewa. Lakini already your integrity imeharibiwa and your record imeharibika as a human being. Vijana mnanisikiza vizuri? So the security operators wako macho kabisa, especially during this time of election. So whatever you are asked to do, think twice whether it will build your integrity or it will destroy your integrity. Wewe fingerprints zako zikichukuliwa, si za ile aliyekutuma, utakosa kupata vitu muhimu kwa serikali kwa sababu ya hiyo, and you will have destroyed your life. This is our prayer as the church. We know that everybody has a right to contest and to vote. And therefore you have a right to support whatever candidate you want to support. Nobody will dictate to you. Nobody will force you to support any candidate you want to support. But the right you don't have is to destroy our peace. That one you don't have. So support your candidate peacefully, with a lot of peace, and vote for the candidate of your choice. For the aspirants, please don't destroy our Embakasi because of votes. Look for votes peacefully and don't use youth. If there is any youth you would want to use, you can get your brothers or you get your children and use them. But for the use of Embakasi East, we love them, they are our brothers, they are our sisters, and we would want them to have peace. And we want the atmosphere to be very good within Embakasi East. And kila mtu ako macho. The church tuko macho. The government iko macho. That is why chief yuko hapa. Everybody who promotes peace will be a friend of the church, will be a friend of the government. The opposite is you'll be making yourself an enemy. Everybody, as I've said, uko na candidate yule una support na amani. And for the candidates, yule atashinda, maana kiti ni kimoja kwa kila elective post. Ushinde kwa unyenyekevu. Na atakayepoteza, maana wengi watapoteza, mmoja atapata, pia upoteze kwa heshima. Hivi ndio tunapenda tuone Embakasi East and Embakasi Ward ikikuwa after August. Bwana asifiwe. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. So we want, even as you will be responding to questions, we want to hear it from your mouth that you will promote peace. Hiyo ndio iwe kitu ya kwanza kabla ujibu swali. Not because you will do it. We know you can say it because of this meeting. But if you do contrary to that, we will hold you accountable to the words you are speaking here today when that time comes. Ndugu zangu, sisi wote tunasupport mtu na sisi wote tunakubaliana hata kuna uwezekano unayesupport ataanguka. Na kuna uwezekano unayesupport atashinda. Ni kweli? Akishinda shukuru Mungu, maana Mungu ndio hupeana viongozi. Akipoteza shukuru Mungu, maana Mungu atakuwa hajakubali kwa wakati huo. Na sisi to remain friends. Lastly, I will tell you something about these politicians here. Because most of them are my friends and they reach out to me. Almost all of them have reached out to me. Na nimewaambia nyinyi mtafute kura. These people are friends. Unaona vile wamekaa hapo? Unaona vile wamekaa pale? These people are friends. And they meet. Na wanakunywanga chai pamoja. Na wanakula lunch pamoja. Na wanaambiana, ikiwa wewe utapata mimi nipoteza unikumbuke. Hawakutaji bahali. Wewe hautaji bahali. Lakini hawa Alan akipita, Lamek ako safe. Lamek akipita, Alan ako safe. Huyu ndugu akipita, hawa wako safe. It is only you who is not safe. So the only safety that you need as an Embakasi East resident is to go for a leader that will bring development. That is the only thing that will affect you directly. Lakini kazi ni ya mshahara itakuwa inaenda kwa nyumba yake, the end of the month. The only thing we can get from them is development. Si ni ukweli? Si ni ukweli vijana? Development ndio tutapata. Ninajua saa hii tuko charged, everybody must be charged, bada hata yule anaanguka anajua atashinda. Lakini as we get charged, let us promote peace. And that will be very good. Once again, we appreciate you, the youths, with this initiative. And for me, when they reached out to me, I said, I will support them. I will support them because what they are doing is good. And we have supported them up to this point. And I want you to know that the authorities wanawatambua and they know they are here. Even this meeting, they have met the authorities and talked to them about it. And therefore, we support them.
Please tell us, what's your plan for the education system in the region, specifically on public schools?
I think you all know that we have issues to do with our public school which are not able to absorb all the students or pupils that we have around. We only have two schools, that is Embakasi Primary and Embakasi Garrison. The other one is Embakasi Secondary School. Those are three schools that we have as public school that are not able to accommodate all our students or pupils. So in several forums, I think I've addressed it kwa kusema ya kwamba we have our leaders, and as MCA directly intact with the people on the ground, it is my responsibility to make sure that these people are being brought on board. I'm going to ensure that we have another primary school at Tasia. Tasia, I want to state it clearly that the process of getting a primary school is a big issue that cannot be handled with only an MCA, but it is something that has to bring in the MP, county government as a whole, that is the governor, and also the national government, inclusive of even the administrators, so that we have and specify a land. We are not going to harm anybody in this process. Reason, we all know where we are from. What I'm going to make sure that I put in place is, one, to work with the people of grassroots. And I'm going to do this through coming up with the education committee that will be making sure that all the fundings that comes from the national government, from the county assembly, reaches the people, so that they identify the process, they analyze, and in the forum, the exchequer, will always be giving the report, and the public will scrutinize to ensure that the public funds imetumika vizuri. So I'm going to make sure ya kwamba public funds through the committees that are enshrined by the county policies to ensure that people on the grassroots are represented in these points.
I think we have to come to the fact that education is not devolved, but there's a section of education that is devolved, and this is the ECD. So as we purpose to work on the education, I think there's one thing. It is a common responsibility between the MCA and the MP. Because with the MCA, I think land is devolved. And the search for the public land is solely a responsibility of the MCA. So during my regime, I intend to come up with clear structures to ensure that we have land within Tasia peacefully. Come up with strategies to make sure that we have land within Tasia where we intend to set up an ultra-modern educational facility within that area. And for the existing facilities, I intend to make sure that we have improved ECD centers and work closely with the member of parliament within this area to ensure that we upgrade the modern facilities to accommodate more. Because in Embakasi, we all know that the land issues is a problem, and we intend to work on it together as a collective responsibility to ensure we have these facilities together. Thank you.
Education, in its essence, has not been devolved. But there's what we call liaison with the member of the National Assembly, and also finding factors and tabling within the Ministry of Education. Because when it comes to employment, the National Teacher Service Commission has an obligation for the same. When it comes to erecting these facilities, the Ministry of Education also has a responsibility, and also within the docket of the member of assembly, member of parliament, he also has a responsibility to do an oversight and implement such kinds of projects. So my responsibility as a member of county assembly will be to liaise. Mine basically will be liaison, because I will not have that big authority over it.
The issue of public school has been raised in several platforms. And I know each and every one of us understand well that education and security remains the functions of the national government. And we don't want to lie that an MCA can set up a public school. That is a lie. But what we need to do is to ensure that there is working relationship, because what to Embakasi, we can't lie that there is no working relationship between the current MCA and the current member of parliament. And that is what is actually been derailing a lot of projects that we have at the ward level. If we cross over to Theuri or Embakasi West, we can see how Theuri has managed to bring on board all the elected county assembly members, and they sit through the public participation that is enshrined in our good constitution to ensure that the public give their opinions on what to prioritize in terms of service delivery. So on education, we know very well that is an issue of land that is in question, and we don't know who and where the land is supposed to be, where the public school is supposed to be developed, or maybe to be the school to be erected. But let us agree on one thing, my friends. Nyayo Estate has got a population of, 5,000 units. If you look at the population inside there and add to 15,000 units around Tasia, that gives you a population of over close to 200,000. That, without a public school, is a problem. I believe that under my leadership, with an able member of parliament, that the people of Embakasi will elect. In August, we shall sit down and then look for a piece of land within Tasia and agree through public participation and set up a land and ensure that we erect a school. And funds to erect a school is very simple. We had a Nyayo Stadium that was refurbished by Safaricom. We don't care whether our school will be branded as Safaricom, but what we need is a block that our kids can go to school into. We don't care whether Coca-Cola will brand that school, but we'll bring them on board and ensure that we...
1 second.
Yes.
Please let us know, how soon after you take that seat do you plan to implement all this? 1 second.
Where we are sitting here, this particular land, my role is ECD. I will erect an ECD here.
It's a great concern in this society. And the women and children sometimes die in the process. When they try, you find that somebody wants to deliver. The process of transferring a patient from here to Mama Lucy becomes a concern. There's one thing that touched me, and that is it's the main reason that motivated me to vie for this position. I had an organization that I'd liaised with, and they had agreed to bring ambulances within this ward. And when I went to the county government, I was asked for a bribe. And these people, we had come to a consensus and we had agreed. If I am given this opportunity, these women who are not able to access hospitals because they do not have the funds to transfer them from point A to point B, within my first 3 months in power, I'll ensure that the organization avails the project. Number 2, I talked about Beyond Zero campaign. I've been having liaison with them. And that's what I've said right now as we talk. By Thursday, those who are having issues with health, you will get free medication as from 29th, up to 2nd of next month. Number 2, there are those who are not able to pay for what we call the National Hospital Insurance Fund. How then can we deal with this issue? Empowerment. Women can only be empowered. Ule mama anafanya biashara pale. What she does, we implement by putting something within the kitty through these groups. Then she's able to raise an additional cash, which in turn she can use to pay for the hospital fund. Number 3, there are those who are not able even at all. They don't have jobs and they don't have anything. To mean if they are sick, it is between them and God. Through these organizations, we have identified, I have identified from Tasia down there and even at Juakali. We will ensure that these people who are completely unable to raise resources, because sio kila mtu anaweza kuwa sawa, si ni kweli? We will ensure that they are paid for on a half basis for the NHIF so that they can pick it from there. In the process, we liaise with them, we realize what is it that we can do. We put in some small funds through this organization. This is not the government. Through this organization, then they're able to start running their own. I've been liaising with different organizations, but I've not been able to implement these things because I am incapacitated in terms of organizing this project. When I get the opportunity to be in government, within the first 3 months, the projects will be rolling.
Matters health. Do you know that Nairobi oversights 15 billion every financial year? When we have wrong priority on those that we elect on positions of leadership, then that is the beginning of our problem. Nairobi County, out of the possible 85 wards, they have an allocation of 100 million. Each and every ward is allocated not less than 100 million. Then where is our priority? Then if we don't prioritize, that is the beginning of our crisis. The financial year 2021,
Nairobi County had a budget of 39 billion, of which the government, the national government, was actually funding or maybe giving them 15 billion. The rest was supposed to come from the taxes from common mwananchi. We have a government established through what we call social contract. We accept to follow the laws and pay taxes, but in return, you must give us the services. Do we have those services offered? Because we lack leadership. I will give the leadership that will prioritize the medical facilities within the ward. We have so far 2 hospitals that needs to be equipped with both human resource and drugs. That will be a priority, and it will be established. Thank you.
The issue of health facilities, we are not enjoying enough because we are not assessing the drugs. In my manifesto, I have stated it clearly, ya kwamba we have emergency cases that I'm sure we need to handle at some level, because you realize that some of our boys do drive pikipiki. Na wakiendesha hizi pikipiki, they do get accident. Apart from that, resulting from drug abuses. Hello? Yes? Resulting again from drug abuses, you realize that there are some emergency cases of which I've come up with a system which will make sure that is in effect coming August or mwezi wa tisa this year. This I'll do by instituting some centers, basic centers. It is possible. Along the ways, we put some containers and then we fix it with some basic elements to ensure that our people can step there so that at least they get the basic. This cannot be done by the little money that we get from the county government, but it's an initiative that we have to involve our other cooperative bodies so that at least it is tackled. I'll ensure that along the ways there is alternative measures of making sure our people get health care.
The issue of health is actually what I tried to tackle when I was in the CDF office, and through the liaison with the county government, because health is already devolved, I engaged into some negotiations with the then Director of Public Health in City Hall, the late Dr. Aisi, and that's how we came up with that maternity hall, that maternity at Embakasi Health Center. So on this, there are so many aspects to health than that. So for our mothers, I intend now to lobby and ensure that the corporates within this area actually help us equip that maternity to ensure that it is functional. Time was not on my side, and after delivering on the structure, now the facilities within that health facility has not been realized. But in my administration, I intend to ensure that the facilities are there. And on the other side, I think we have the universal health care that the government is now trying to make sure that it is realized among the society. So on this, I will put up medical camps and ensure that I come out with stringent measures to ensure that we have our people and we reach out to our people wherever they are through public participation to ensure that they have that health card and ensure that they actually access the required health. In Tasia, we already have a level 3 hospital. I also intend to lobby and ensure that we have wards and we have maternity facility within that. It is under my devolved jurisdiction to ensure we realize that. Thank you.
There are 2 things under my economic infrastructure plan. 1, we must have a functional market within Embakasi ward. If you go to Dandora, they have got their markets from Dandora phase 1 to phase 5. If you go to Jogoro, they have their markets. If you go to Umoja, they have their markets. When we have a functional market within Embakasi, Our women will be having an opportunity to run grocery. Our boys will be having an opportunity to have security. When we have a market within the ward, we shall have our women doing tailoring. When we have a market within the ward, we shall have our youth cleaning the market itself. We must have a market to create job opportunity and control the drug abuse. Two, the world is moving into a digital world. This Embakasi is no exception. I am creating an iHub where I will create and nurture the young boys that are computer savvy or techno savvy. I will give them a platform with laptops. They will develop products to sell to Quickmart, Coca-Cola. What are these products? One, the traceability code in any organization. Let's say like Coca-Cola. They need to track their products like soda from point A to point B. They want to know why is soda A found in Kayole and is supposed to be in Umoja. We shall have what we call the traceability codes for these products so that the organization can easily trace their products. That will be within the ward.
For job creation, I've been here in Embakasi na nimekaa hapa nikiangalia watu wakinikujia every now and then ya kwamba wanataka kasi Embakasi. I think, as my brother has stated it, it is good because we are going to make sure that the companies around give us at least that responsibility they have. And again, I'll be setting up, as you know, because according to my calculation, having something like a building there or structure there at social hall to ensure that interest of youths are catered for. Because all these people ambapo wanatafuta kasi Embakasi, you'll realize that they are our boys. Those that are between 20 or 18 onwards a bit. So nitahakikisha ya kwamba at social hall tumeweka mahali ambapo tuko na what we call lab, of which this person will be connected with internet so that we have something to do with some computers or lab, so that at least vijana wanaweza enda hapo watafute namna ya kupata kasi. Again, because you know everything as we speak, siku hizi watu wanaenda through internet. Hakunanga kuenda manually to companies ukitafuta kasi. Tumegundua something like KRA requirements, security requirements, inagaramia vijana wetu. I'm going to make sure that through this hub, all these are accommodated. And nitahakikisha ya kwamba apart from that, we also include the company on that collection of internet so that we know the actual companies, so that at least they employ our boys around. Apart from that, through women groups, I've said that we have self-help group. These self-help groups will be uplifted to another level. It's not that ever we have only the self-help group at that and in Isiapo. Can we improve them a bit so that at least we have the associations which are bigger, the companies, we grow them as we attend their meetings. Vile nili explain hapo mwanzo, please, we are capable of making sure that our boys are employed through these programs. You all know that at secondary level, at the university level, we are not taught to be employed, but to create employment. So please, we are going to do it.
I purpose to set up Ajira centers within this locality, probably in Embakasi Social Hall, and I purpose to do it also in Tasia, at a designated area within Tasia. And through this, I also intend to take action and ensure that the corporate social responsibilities amongst the companies that operate within this area give the 10% corporate responsibility to our youth within this locality.
Job and job creation. Number one, I have worked for the government. I worked with the KBC at the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation. I used to do content production. And I resigned, realizing the operationality of the government. Because the people, what they need, other than just the employment, but the relevant protocols that are required. I have coordinated. In fact, my main objective as a county, as member of county assembly, if I'll be, is to empower the youths. As we speak, I have empowered almost 6 youth groups with the car wash machines at Tasia. I've empowered women youth groups, and I've also coordinated with Riverbank. I'm going to give them another car wash next week on Saturday.
So let me get this straight. So as your source of generating income activity will be to empower youth with
It is in 2 phases. I was trying to give the first phase because in any society, there is what you must do immediately. So before you can get an opportunity to work with the government and then give job creation, you must do something in the process. That is why I am empowering the youth now. I will not have to wait. Number 2, there's a program I did with Deutsche Welle in Germany. And I realized there's so many opportunities for these educated youths. The youths who are educated, through the liaison, which I have with various organizations, I'll be identifying the youths through the groups and giving them the relevant protocol to follow in regards to the same so that they can get those employments. Number 3, within the county government, there must be equitable distributions of these employments. As a member of the county assembly, it is important that we understand that if there are these job opportunities, it is my responsibility, of which I will oblige to ensure that those, even if there are 2, 3, or 4 opportunities, they are made available to the youths.
The issue of drug, we can't hide because the same people sitting before us are the same ones that are victims to this. So, nataka kusema ya kwamba, 1, you must be a role model. Kitu ya kwanza, you must be a role model. And as being a leader, it is you to ensure that people copy you. Not that you walk from hotel to bus as you saw the same was damaged. So please, you must do that. Secondly, is that for extreme drugs, I will be monitoring the people of Embakasi through these groups. The leaders, because we know very well kuna wengine ambapo unapata families wanakuanga, wamama wanalemewa na wababa ambao wanakunywa excess. They become irresponsible in their families. Nitahakikisha through the groups, through our mama, I'll be getting to these people so that with the family we make sure that they visit rehabilitation centers. At the end of the day, these people end up dying. Rehabilitation centers are not jails. They are meant for us to make sure that our young boys are conforming to the community interests so that they don't go extreme. I'll make sure that extreme ones we cool a bit. And please, that is something very important. And you all know ya kwamba it begins with it requires talks. It requires sweet talking so that mtu aelewe responsibility ile anayo. And that is the procedure I'll take to ensure that our people are well using the drugs. Thank you.
so much.
For all of us, some of us that visited the institutions of higher learning. In 1982, a theorist by the name James Q developed a theory that we call the broken windows theory. It was about the social disorder in a society. What makes crime to thrive in a society? It comes from social disorder. And social disorder is what we see in terms of now the drug abuse, the teenage pregnancy, delinquency behavior, and all crimes, and all manner of crimes. The issue to deal with the drug menace is simple. In my manifesto that I outlined virtually and in all the platforms, shows what I have for the youth to address the issue of drug abuse. 1, I have an economic infrastructure plan that will create job opportunities for the youth and give them less time to get involved in crime. When we have
issues to do with the drugs imekuwa menace kubwa sana kwa society. The most important thing that we must realize is that you can only get into drugs if you have nothing to do that can bring income to you as a person. And the drugs can only be brought if you are influenced by another individual
who again is also involved in drugs. Number two, creation of co-curricular activity. When I was in high school, for those of us who are never able to perform, sometimes we were told, jaribu kama hii itaweza. We must empower the youth through sports. When you empower the youth through sports, if I am idle, for instance, I am not able to get a job in a month or two, nitaingia mahali naweza ambiwa nipige Gilby Stouts, nitapiga. But if I have a responsibility in regards to sports, which also brings people together, I will have limited time. So I'll focus mostly on sports, dealing with it, to clear out the issues to do with the drugs. Number two, we have recreational facilities. Because there are those who have gotten into drug and they are not able to retract to the noble status, not unless they are taken to a place where they can do a rehab. I have coordinated. On 29th, I was liaising with Beyond Zero through other relevant authorities. It will be available and they'll be doing eye checkups. I also talked to them and said, other than just doing what we call checkups on eye and blah, 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 can you people come in with activities like sports in the process? And they've told me from 29th, watakuwa Tasia, then to Riverbank down, alafu nitapanga wakuje hapa. In that line, tahakikisha ya kwamba sporting activities pia zimeanza hapo hapo. The issue of drugs, I think I'm the most experienced among them. Na drugs sio uji wala soda. The issue of drugs, lazima tujiulize swali moja. Yo uanzia wapi? Because the smallest percentage ya drugs haziko shuleni. It is the smallest. Zile huwa shuleni. But after school, that is where now the problem comes in. So kwanza kutatua shida ya drugs, lazima tujiulize kwanza, tutaanzia wapi? Na hawa vijana wetu wakati wanafanya form 4, wao huenda wapi? So the transition from school to normal life is the problem. Because the largest percentage ya drug addicts ni wale wametoka shuleni. So the society, and under my regime, I'll make sure that number one, I create that transitional framework from school to the normal life now. So our vijana wetu, I intend to kushirikiana na our social facilities, churches, to make use of our social halls, kuhakikisha ya kwamba we talk to them and ensure that tumewapatia life skill training ya kuaccommodate direct from school na kuwa transition to what they should expect in the normal life. So in this case, through the life skill training, I also intend to give them some trainings, some vocational trainings and technical trainings, which I've already done in the past, just to ensure that they accommodate themselves. So it is my responsibility under the devolved system, just to ensure that I accommodate these youths and make sure that they have a safe transition from school to the normal life. Thank you.
Okay, on emergency response plan, we must work on infrastructure within Embakasi ward. There's no emergency program that can be initiated if we don't have roads and accessibility. That is a big challenge. Right now, if you want to move from Tasia stage to Riverbank and there's a crisis, it will take ages for individuals that are in dire need to be assisted. We need to work on our infrastructure first and sit down with individuals that have so invaded the facilities that are meant for the road infrastructure and all that is required to give spaces for opportunities as such to be established. So that will be key for us in terms of emergency response. In terms of fire, I think the devolved units, like for example, both Embakasi East Sub-County and Embakasi South Sub-County, they need to have at least one fire extinguisher or maybe a van that should be stationed somewhere just in case of the emergencies. At the same time, the airport is just next to us. We can have partnership with Kenya Airports Authority in terms of emergency response because they have their trucks and vans that are lying idle at the airport. Thank you.
The disaster management sector was established in 2018 through the office of the county government. And in the process, they had established that those who will be the head of these sectors will be the chiefs. Here in our ward, it is so unfortunate that we are not able to have our fire stations because of the implementation process. It is as easy as say, to coordinate with the county government, because the chief under the office of the governor is responsible for the disaster management. Number two, organize trainings through the office of the chief. These trainings will ensure, because you find in most circumstances, when there are issues to do with fire, other than people evacuating, people bulge together to come and see what is happening because they lack that knowledge. So we will organize the training through the chief in liaison with the disaster management sector, under the office of the governor, with the chiefs. I think on emergency, there are more to it than just health and other things. Number one, on health, under my administration, I intend to make sure that our 2 health facilities within this area are very well equipped with ambulance services that will ensure that if actually there is a patient or there's anything that needs to be taken somewhere, maybe higher than the facility that we have, I intend to put up emergency services, ambulances within these facilities. Number 2, I intend to lobby and ensure that the facilities that we have are upgraded to level 4 or level 5 hospitals to cater for this. On security, I intend to ensure that we have proper road networks, we have street lights and high masts within these areas to ensure that if there is anything that crops up, then we can deal with it collectively. And on still on health, I think it is part of the corporate responsibility that the private facilities that we have should offer or must offer first aid as corporate social responsibilities. So I intend to have public participations, and I intend to invite them and ensure that we have a dialogue together with them to ensure that if something crops up, then they have to undertake the first aid measures to ensure that our society is safe. And on that,
the issue of responding to emergency cases, one, when I'm there, we'll make sure that we fight for proper policies that govern the control of the vehicles that are used in Nairobi. And it is my responsibility to make sure that we lower these vehicles in numbers so that at least they reach the people on the ground. We may have one at Social Hall, but how will we get it if the funds are not enough to cater for that? Please, it is the policies that we have to enact so that we make sure that we buy more and we make sure that at least they are lowered to our level. So that kama kuna cases kama hayo, like you, I know you are a victim, please, next time you note, because I'm there for you if you vote me. And I'm going to make sure that we work with MCS, because it is not something I'm going to do alone. The collective responsibility of making sure that policies are made in order to cater for the interests of the people is my responsibility. It's an oversight that I'm going to do and make sure that people are well taken care of. Thank you.
We are allowed to talk about our manifesto.
Yes, please.
My objective is so key. My objective is so key. Number one, empowerment. Kuna jamaa sahi unapiga para pale. Alikuwa ameniambia mimi sijakuja leo kupatia shughuli. Umenipigia simu. So brother, call me. Give me the project. And I can ask, huyu jamaa ameongea, everybody sing. Just a moment, so that you know that I don't make stories. And by the way, what I'm doing it out of my heart. So that you know that I'm not making stories, you and your team give me your project. Within 14 days, I'll deal with it. Irregardless of who you're going to vote for. So that is being me. So that when you move forward, you talked about issues to do with drugs. You must realize that what you are given, use it in the right manner. So that you evade yourself from drugs. So that one day in the future, you have a good society that can be represented. So that project,
Nasikia unataja ati kuna kiongozi mwingine. Just a moment, just a minute or so. Acha niongee. Unajua ile design nafaa tusukume vitu kama mavijana inakuwa ichukue ile design kiserious. Na mavijana hatuwezi grow kama tunapiga tu stories za para. Si ni kweli? So give me the project within 14 days. It's part of my agenda. Within 14 days, with your attitude, I'm going to give you a project with my attitude, and you deal with it. Number 3, there's nothing as important as living in a peaceful coexisting society. We can never grow if we work based on hatred. Let us love one another. Mimi nimekuwa kijana, nimestruggle. I know what it means to struggle. So let us work in peace. Let us work as a unity, and we will go far. Let us not be used.
On my manifesto, I have given it a 6-point agenda that I will give for the people of Embakasi. 1 is youth and women empowerment. 2 is having market within Embakasi ward. 3 is having an ECD that is functional within Embakasi ward. 4 is ensuring that we have a conducive environment for all that are doing business. Nobody would be harassed. Nobody will be molested. Nobody would be intimidated. People must live in unity because Embakasi belongs to all of us. And no one is bigger than Embakasi. Embakasi is bigger than our ego and anything else. So I will ensure that we have a conducive environment for our people to run their business. No woman will be robbed in the evening, but we shall have an environment that our kids can grow. Fifth, we shall ensure that we have a working relationship with the community, those that offer community services. We remunerate them, we empower them, we promote them, and we actually boost their morale in terms of making sure that they work. So thank you, One Embakasi. Thank you for attending this. God bless Embakasi. God bless you all.
I've been saying something concerning my manifesto, and I want to be clear that all these manifestos, Madam, you will agree with me that there's no depositing point at City Hall for these manifestos. And therefore, you'll realize the best manifesto as per scholars is to make sure that we have a trust in front and making sure that the person you elect as a leader is trusted. And therefore, I am here as a trusted person. And that's why it didn't emerge from me, but it emerged from the people. They are my seconders, and those who seconded me are proposers. And therefore, it is not me. My manifesto, or what I intend to implement, I'm telling you, is on education, health, social affairs, now youths. I'm going to make sure that we have committees concerning these areas, so that at least at social hall, we bring it up. We bring it from down there. We sit, because every good leader must have wise men around him. There's no way I'm going to have my own interests or my ego to drive me. Otherwise, allow me also to answer something concerning the guy, because the question you ask, I want to tell you, the problem begins with me and you. Sober up. Sorry. You just sit. Just have. Sober up. In my leadership, I'm going to make sure that our boys are represented. And I've told you that we are going to have youth forums at Embakasi Social Hall. At Embakasi Social Hall, we are going to have these forums. It means that it is these guys that I'm going to call, so that at least we discuss these problems. And from that forums, we are going to have solutions, so that at least we mark these people that are going extreme because of drug abuses. My friend, we are going to cater for that.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa.
So number one, I think we have to agree that we are currently not speaking on the same table, both from the higher leadership up to where we are. So on this, I intend to be the bridge between this lack of unity amongst ourselves. So on this, I will carry out cohesion immediately I come into office. I'll carry out cohesion, bring out all these groups, and ensure that they speak on the same table, and ensure that we have the people-driven projects within this area. This cohesion has to ensure that public participation within this area has to be a regular thing, that mwananchi should actually come face to face as it is right now with his electorate, to ensure that the projects that are taking place within this area are people-driven projects and not individual projects that I have to come back after 4 years and sell the idea that mimi ndo nilifanya hii, nikafanya hile, nikafanya hile. You are supposed to have the knowledge on what is happening. You are supposed to be the decision makers on the projects that are happening, and I intend to do that through the creation of at least 3 or 4 bunge la wananchi within this area, fully funded bunge la wananchi within this area, within this ward, to ensure that the projects that will take place are actually people-driven. Number 2, I intend to work on the drainage system. That there was a question on the drainage system. In Tasia, it is on the slope, but currently when it rains, there is a lot of problem. There's a lot of drainage problem in Tasia. And the container, the specific area that these guys talked about, container. We cannot run from the fact that drainage is devolved. It is a responsibility of the area MCA to ensure that these projects happen. And through this, I intend to make sure that those young men who are sitting along that route, we will work with them together to achieve the clean environment and proper drainage system.
Thank you so much.